Okay, so for this review, I'm going to be looking at the PHET simulation, that is concentration. So for this simulation, you basically get all these different things that you can try to dissolve in water. And one of the things I also like is that it has some tools where you can measure out concentration in moles per liter. So I really like that it's not just kind of looking at the observations of how the color changes when the concentration increases. But we're going to start out just kind of looking at the drink mix. So you shake it, put some in, and you can see the concentration increases the more you add in, which is a good explanation. But if you add more solvent, let's say water, that concentration then decreases. So I think that's a really good representation of kind of what's happening when we are doing solution chemistry. I also like that you can kind of pick and choose how much evaporation is occurring, because if something's evaporating a lot, obviously you're going to be losing that solvent, not the solute, so that you can see it becomes saturated, which means that you can't get any more to dissolve. I really like that you can pick different things to dissolve. So let's say we pick nickel chloride. I'm going to put in half a liter of water. And if I put some of that in, you can see that color change really quickly. And we can do the molarity in here. But I think what I also really like is that you would be able to figure out how much of this is being added based on this concentration if students know the basic chemistry behind solutions. So I really like that. And I also really like that you can add just the solution, which is much more concentrated, so you can see using that. Not only does the volume go up, but the concentration goes up pretty quickly. So when you're adding a solution to a solution, you're still creating a new solution. It's just that what you have in here is a concentrated solution, and what you have down here is not very concentrated. In terms of personal reactions, I think this is, a fine way to sort of represent concentration. I think it's good to preview maybe before you do a solutions lab that you would do this first, so the students kind of understand the process and how to calculate that concentration. I think it's really easy to use. It's simple things. You can reset it if you need to. It doesn't really have too many extra bells and whistles. It's just sort of straightforward. I also like that it's an HTML5 simulation, so students don't need to have Java downloaded. I think it has a pretty good educational value when you're talking about solutions, because the point of solutions is knowing how to calculate its concentration and how you kind of apply how much solute is being added versus how much solution that you have. I think this is probably appropriate for high school students. Definitely in general science, maybe even in chemistry as like a pre-lab, because again, this calculating concentration in moles per liter, which is molarity, is how chemists will calculate concentrations of solutions. So I think that's pretty valuable. And I could see this definitely being applied in my solutions unit. I could even see it being applied when we're talking about types of matter. So I mean, because this is a type of mixture, it's a homogeneous mixture. Because it's a solution, you can remove the solute out of it. If this was a chemical reaction, you would have to perform another chemical reaction in order to separate this, so that could be applied as well. But I think mostly it would be best used for solution chemistry.